Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt something was wrong? Not sick, not injured, just older. Older than you expected, older than you felt inside. You wake up, you wash your face, and you see lines that weren't there last year. You see tiredness that sleep doesn't seem to fix. And somewhere deep inside, a quiet question forms. Why? Most people blame stress. Some blame genetics. Some just shrug and say, that's life, that's getting older. But here's what most people miss. The answer is not in your genes. It's not in your sleep schedule. It's sitting on your plate 3 times a day, every single day. What you eat today decides how you look tomorrow. This lesson is for English learners who care about their body and their years. Today we are going to talk about the foods that are quietly, slowly, invisibly aging you. The kind that most people eat without thinking. Food that feels harmless, maybe even delicious, but are costing you something you can never get back. Time. Now, this is not about a diet or starving yourself. Nothing in your life has to disappear. This is about something simpler knowledge. Because once you know what these foods are doing inside your body, you will never look at them the same way again. Hippocrates, the ancient Greek physician, said something that the world has mostly forgotten. He said, "Let food be thy medicine." 2,000 years ago, he already knew. Food is not just fuel. Food is information. Food is a message you send to your body every single day, and your body listens. It always listens. So today, across 6 lessons, we are going to look at the foods that send the wrong message. The foods that tell your body to age faster, to break down sooner, to look and feel older than your years. And we are going to look at what you can eat instead. You won't need a doctor to understand this. You won't need a science degree. You just need to stay with me for the next 30 minutes, and by the end, something will shift. Not just in what you eat, but in how you think about food. If this is already speaking to you, subscribe right now. This channel is built for people who want to grow inside and out. There is more coming. Now, let's begin with the most popular, most invisible, most misunderstood aging food on the planet. You probably already know a little about healthy eating. Maybe you've heard that sugar is bad. Maybe you've read that processed food isn't great. But knowing something in your head and truly feeling it in your body are 2 very different things. Today is not about facts on a page. Today is about something that clicks, something that finally makes sense. Think about the people in your life who seem to age gracefully. The ones who look 10 years younger than they are. The ones who move easily, laugh easily, whose skin still looks alive and warm. You've probably met at least one person like this. And you've probably met the opposite too. Someone the same age who looks exhausted, dull, heavy. And you thought, silently, what happened to them? It wasn't luck. It wasn't just genetics. In most cases, the biggest difference between those 2 people was what they put in their mouth every single day over 20, 30, 40 years. That is the power of food. And that is what this lesson is about. 6 things. 6 foods or food habits that are stealing years from your face, your energy, your body. You may be eating them right now. Your family probably eats them. But after today, you'll have a choice, a real one. Lesson 1. Sugar, the sweet thief. Let's talk about sugar. Not the sugar in a birthday cake, not the candy you eat once a year at a festival. I'm talking about the sugar that hides. The sugar that sneaks into your bread, your salad dressing, your fruit juice, your pasta sauce, your breakfast cereal. The sugar you don't see, don't taste, and don't think about. Because it doesn't announce itself. It just gets in. And while it's inside your body, it does something that scientists call glycation. Here's what most people miss. Glycation is not about weight. It's not about calories. It's about what sugar does to the proteins in your body at a cellular level. When you eat too much sugar, that sugar attaches itself to the proteins in your skin, your blood vessels, your organs. It stiffens them. It hardens them. It makes them less flexible, less alive. Scientists call the result AGEs, Advanced Glycation End Products. And the name is not a coincidence. AGEs literally age you. Your collagen, the protein that keeps your skin smooth and firm, gets damaged by glycation. It loses its ability to bounce back. Lines form, skin sags. You look tired even when you've slept 8 hours. It's not just about vanity either. Those same hardened proteins affect your blood vessels, your joints, your brain. The process that puts wrinkles on your face is the same process that stiffens arteries and clouds memory. Sugar doesn't just age your skin, it ages your whole body, quietly, continuously, one meal at a time. Now think about this. Most people eat for taste. Smart people eat for time. When you reach for that juice in the morning because it seems healthy, because it says natural on the bottle, you are making a decision about how you will look and feel in 10 years. That decision takes 2 seconds. Its consequences last a decade. A woman named Clara worked in an office for 15 years. Every morning, orange juice. Every afternoon, a biscuit with her coffee. Every evening, a bowl of white rice with sweet sauce. She wasn't overweight. She exercised sometimes. But at 38, her colleagues started asking if she was tired. At 42, people guessed she was 50. Clara wasn't unlucky. Clara's body was just telling the truth about what she had been feeding it. You are not Clara. Or maybe you are a little. Most of us are in some way. The good news is this. Your body is not a machine that breaks once and stays broken. It is living tissue. It responds. When you reduce the sugar that hides in your daily meals, your body begins to repair. Slowly, quietly, but it does. Collagen production improves, inflammation drops, energy returns. Perfection is not the goal. Cutting out every sweet thing forever is not the answer. The answer is knowing what you're choosing and choosing with your eyes open. Every spoonful of sugar leaves a mark your face will remember. That is not a threat. It is simply how the body works. And now you know it. Lesson 2. The fire you cannot see. There is a fire burning inside millions of people right now. They don't feel it as heat. They don't see smoke. They go to work, they eat their lunch, they come home tired, and they think that tiredness is just life, just stress, just age. But it isn't. It is inflammation. Chronic inflammation is what happens when your immune system stays switched on for too long. Normally, inflammation is good. You cut your finger, your body sends help, the wound heals, and everything calms down. That is acute inflammation. That is your body doing its job. Chronic inflammation is different. It never calms down. It is a low, slow, constant burn that damages your cells day after day, year after year. It breaks down collagen. It attacks your skin, your joints, your blood vessels, your brain. Scientists who study aging have found something striking. Chronic inflammation is one of the fastest known ways the human body grows old before its time. And what feeds that fire? Food. Specifically, 2 categories of food that most people eat every single day without a second thought. The first is ultra-processed food. Packaged snacks, instant noodles, frozen meals, fast food, flavored drinks. These foods contain ingredients your body does not recognize as food. Artificial preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers. When these substances enter your gut, your immune system treats them like invaders. It raises the alarm. It sends fighters. The problem is, you eat these foods again the next day, and the day after. The alarm never stops. The fire never goes out. He woke up at 7. He grabbed a pack of instant noodles for breakfast because it was fast. He bought a bag of chips at lunch because the canteen was closed. He ordered fried chicken on his phone for dinner because he was tired. His name was Marcus. He was 32 years old. And he couldn't understand why his skin looked gray, why his knees ached in the morning, why he felt old in the young body. Marcus wasn't sick in any way a doctor could easily name, but his body was burning. Now think about this. A pack of instant noodles takes 3 minutes to make. The inflammation it feeds can take 3 years to undo. The second category is something even more hidden: processed seed oils. Soybean oil, sunflower oil, corn oil. These oils are in almost everything: crackers, cookies, salad dressings, restaurant cooking, margarine. They are cheap, they are everywhere. And they are deeply unstable at high temperatures. When these oils are heated, they produce free radicals, molecules that damage your cells, your DNA, the walls of your arteries. Free radicals are like sparks. And your body, if it already has chronic inflammation, is like dry wood. The two together accelerate aging faster than almost anything else in the modern diet. If you cook at home, use olive oil. Use butter. Use coconut oil. These fats are stable under heat. They don't create the same sparks. This one change alone, just switching your cooking oil, can reduce the oxidative stress in your body significantly over time. The oil in your pan may be the quiet enemy of your cells. Most people spend years blaming stress for how they look and feel. Stress is real, but what you put in your body every day either adds fuel to that fire or slowly, gently helps it cool down. A poor choice says it's just one meal. A wise choice says every meal is a vote. Vote carefully. Lesson 3. Your gut knows the truth. There is an organ in your body that most people completely ignore. They don't think about it until something goes wrong. They don't take care of it the way they take care of their skin or their heart. But this organ, quietly, invisibly, controls more of your health than almost anything else. It affects your energy, your mood, your immune system, the clarity of your thinking, and yes, the way you age. It is your gut. Hear me on this. Your gut is not just a tube that digests food and moves it along. Inside your gut live trillions of tiny organisms, bacteria, fungi, microbes of all kinds. Scientists call this community the microbiome. And this community is in many ways running the show. They help digest your food. They produce vitamins your body cannot make alone. They talk directly to your brain through a network of nerves so complex that researchers now call the gut your second brain. When your microbiome is healthy, your whole body benefits. Your immune system stays balanced. Your skin stays clearer. Your brain stays sharper. Your energy stays more consistent. Aging for people with a healthy gut happens more slowly, more gently. But when your microbiome is damaged, everything suffers. And what damages the microbiome? Ultra-processed food, artificial sweeteners, antibiotics taken too often, alcohol, and a diet that is low in fiber and high in chemicals your gut bacteria have never seen before in human history. If you have ever felt bloated for no clear reason, if your energy crashes in the afternoon even after a good sleep, if your skin breaks out in ways that creams don't seem to fix your gut, may be telling you something. It is not shouting. It never shouts. It whispers. And most people don't know how to listen. David Sinclair, a biologist at Harvard, who has spent decades studying why we age, has said that aging is not something we simply have to accept. It is, in his view, something closer to a disease. A process that can be slowed. And one of the most powerful ways to slow it, he argues, is to stop feeding the body the substances that accelerate cellular breakdown. Ultra-processed food sits near the top of that list, not because of its calories, because of what it does to the gut, and through the gut to every system in the body. A damaged gut ages the whole body from the inside out. So what helps? Real food. Food that your microbiome recognizes. Vegetables, especially the ones with deep color. Fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi and sauerkraut. Legumes. Whole grains. Fiber in all its forms. These foods feed the good bacteria. They help restore the balance. They give your second brain what it needs to do its job well. You don't need to overhaul your entire kitchen overnight. Small changes matter more than perfection. Add one more vegetable to your dinner. Choose whole grain bread instead of white. Eat a small cup of plain yogurt in the morning. Your gut remembers every good decision you make, and it will thank you for them slowly in ways you will begin to feel before you can even name them. If this lesson is making you think differently about what you put on your plate, then this channel is exactly where you belong. Subscribe now and stay with me. The next 3 lessons may be the most surprising ones yet. Lesson 4. The social poisons. Some things that age us don't feel like enemies. They feel like friends. They feel like relaxation, like reward, like belonging. You've worked hard all week. Friday comes. Someone hands you a cold drink. Someone opens a bag of chips. Everyone is laughing. The music is good. And in that moment, the last thing on your mind is aging. That is exactly what makes these next 2 things so dangerous. The first is alcohol. Pause for 1 second. This is not a lecture about drinking, and it is not about morality or willpower. This is just biology, and the biology is clear. Alcohol is a toxin. Your body knows this. The moment alcohol enters your bloodstream, your liver drops everything else and works to remove it. While your liver is busy, everything else waits. Vitamin A production slows. Vitamin A is one of the most important nutrients for skin repair and cell renewal. When it drops, your skin loses its ability to heal itself, to stay firm, to stay bright. Alcohol also disrupts your deep sleep, not the falling asleep part. The deep restorative sleep your body uses to repair itself at the cellular level. You may sleep 8 hours after drinking, but your body gets far less of the repair work done. Night after night, that missed repair accumulates. It shows up on your face before you realize what's happening. It's not about being reckless. It's not about being someone who drinks too much. It's about understanding what even moderate regular drinking does to the skin and the cells over months and years. Alcohol borrows beauty from tomorrow to give you a good night tonight. You don't have to stop completely, but knowing what the transaction costs you changes how you make the decision. The second social poison is excess salt. Salt is everywhere. In restaurant food, in packaged snacks, in sauces, in bread, in things that don't even taste salty. And unlike sugar, which we at least feel guilty about, most people don't think twice about salt. But here's what excess salt does. It pulls water out of your cells. Your cells need to stay hydrated to function well, to repair themselves, to produce collagen, to carry nutrients. When salt pulls that water out, cells shrink a little. Skin looks duller. The kidneys work harder to manage the fluid balance. Over time, chronic excess salt stresses the cardiovascular system in ways that accelerate biological aging throughout the body. You've seen the face of someone who eats a lot of salt. Even if you couldn't name what you were seeing, you've felt it. A kind of puffiness, a kind of dullness. A face that looks like it is working harder than it should just to hold itself together. Weak health relies on medicine to survive. Strong health builds its own defense, one meal at a time. The good news again is the same as before. None of this is permanent. Salt and alcohol do real damage, but the body responds well when you reduce them. Skin rehydrates, sleep deepens, energy returns. Kidneys breathe easier. The repair doesn't happen overnight, but it happens. You don't need to be perfect at a dinner table. You just need to be more aware than you were yesterday. That awareness held quietly, consistently, is where real change begins. Every meal is a small decision, and small decisions over decades write the story of your face. Lesson 5. The 2 sisters. I want to tell you about 2 sisters. Their names are Anna and Diane. They grew up in the same house, in the same small town, eating the same food at the same table. Same parents, same genes, same childhood. They were so similar as children that strangers sometimes thought they were twins, even though Anna was 2 years older. They went to different cities for work in their 20s. Different lives, different friends, different routines. And somewhere in those years, something diverged. Not dramatically, not all at once, just quietly, one small daily choice at a time. Diane cooked at home most nights. Not fancy food, simple food. Vegetables, fish eggs, rice, fruit. She drank water mostly, sometimes tea. She didn't follow any particular diet. She just ate real food, the kind her grandmother used to make, because it was affordable, and she had learned how to cook it well. She didn't think of it as a health decision. It was just what she did. Anna was busier, or felt busier. Convenience food became her default. Packaged meals on weeknights, takeout on weekends. Coffee with flavored syrup every morning. Chips at her desk in the afternoon. A glass of wine most evenings to wind down. It wasn't excess by any modern measure. It was normal. It was exactly what most people around her were doing. 20 years passed. When the two sisters met at their mother's 65th birthday, some of the guests who didn't know the family well asked a question that nobody said out loud, but everyone was thinking. They looked at Anna and Diane standing side by side and quietly wondered, are they really sisters? Because one of them looked around 45 and one of them looked closer to 60. Anna was 51. Diane was 53. Think about that. Same genes, same childhood, same starting point. 2 decades of different daily choices. And the gap written on their faces was a full decade apart. It wasn't about luck. It wasn't about expensive skincare or secret treatments. It was the fork, the spoon, the glass. The 10,000 small decisions that together add up to either slow aging or fast aging, without anyone ever making one single dramatic choice. Some people at 40 look 60. Some people at 60 look 40. The difference is not luck. The story of Anna and Diane is not a story about blame. Anna is not a bad person. She made the choices that her environment made easy. That most modern environments make easy. The processed food industry spends billions of dollars making sure that the convenient choice, the cheap choice, the fast choice is always the one that ages you faster. This was never an accident. It is a business model. But you are watching this, you are listening, and that already puts you somewhere different from most people. You know something now that Anna didn't know at 30, that Diane didn't even consciously know. You know that the fork is not just about hunger. It is about time. It is about the face you will wear in 20 years. It is about the body you will live in when you are older, and the habits you build right now today are the ones that body will be built from. The fork is that powerful. The spoon is that powerful. The daily choice is that powerful. Lesson 6. What the oldest people on earth know. There are places in the world where people forget to die. That sounds strange. But it is the best way to describe what a researcher named Dan Buettner found when he spent years traveling to the corners of the world where people live the longest. He called these places blue zones. A small island in Sardinia, Italy. The island of Okinawa in Japan. A community in Loma Linda, California. A peninsula in Costa Rica. A Greek island called Icaria. In these places, people regularly live past 90. Past 100. Not in nursing homes, not connected to machines, but walking their own land, cooking their own food, laughing with their grandchildren. Buettner and his team studied these communities carefully. They looked at genetics, lifestyle, social habits, environment. They were searching for the common thread. It goes deeper than most people expect. Yes, these people moved their bodies. Yes, they had strong social connections. Yes, they had purpose and rest and community. All of that mattered. But when the researchers looked at what these communities put in their mouths every single day, something became very clear. They ate real food. Simple food. Old food. The kind of food that has no ingredient list because it has no ingredients, just itself. In Sardinia, the older men ate mostly vegetables, legumes, whole grain bread, olive oil, and small amounts of locally caught fish. In Okinawa, the older women ate sweet potatoes, tofu, seaweed, and garden vegetables. They stopped eating before they felt completely full. In Loma Linda, a community of Seventh-day Adventists ate largely plant-based food as part of their faith. In Ikaria, the Greek island where people seemed to age so slowly that researchers jokingly said they forgot to die, the diet was simple: Mediterranean food, beans, greens, olive oil, herbs, and very little processed anything. None of these people were following a trendy diet. None of them had read the latest nutrition book. They were simply eating the way their grandparents ate and their grandparents before them. Food that grew from the ground. Food that swam in the sea. Food that was cooked at home with simple ingredients. And they lived long and well. Now picture yourself at 80 years old. Not frail, not exhausted, not dependent. Picture yourself waking up in the morning with energy, walking without pain, thinking clearly, recognizing the faces of everyone you love. That picture is not a fantasy for everyone in those blue zone communities. For many of them, it is simply Tuesday. What made the difference? Not one single superfood, not a supplement or a secret. Just decades of daily choices that told the body, I respect you. I will give you what you were built to use. Real food is not expensive medicine. Real food is the original medicine. Broccoli, lentils, olive oil, berries, salmon, walnuts, leafy greens. These foods reduce inflammation. They protect the gut microbiome. They slow glycation. They give your cells the raw materials to repair, to renew, to continue. He ate slowly. He cooked from scratch. He walked after dinner. He lived to 102 and remembered every one of his grandchildren's names. That is not luck. That is the compound interest of 1,000 good daily decisions. The oldest people on earth eat simple food. Look carefully at what they chose, and the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Nobody is asking you to move to Sardinia or grow your own vegetables. There is no need to abandon everything modern life has to offer. You just have to start leaning toward real food a little more often, one meal at a time. Your body has been waiting for this. It knows what to do with real food. It was designed for it. The oldest people on earth didn't discover a secret. They simply never forgot what food was for. And what you eat today also decides who you will be in 30 years. A person who forgot to age, or a person who let food age them without ever knowing why. We have covered a lot of ground today, and I want to bring it all back together before we say goodbye. 6 lessons, 6 truths about the food that ages you fast. Sugar attaches to your proteins and stiffens them. It ages your skin, your blood vessels, your brain, one quiet meal at a time. Chronic inflammation, fed by ultra-processed food and unstable cooking oils, burns through your cells day after day without you ever feeling the fire. Your gut, your second brain, breaks down when you feed it chemicals and artificial ingredients. And when your gut breaks down, your whole body ages faster. Alcohol steals your sleep, your skin repair, your vitamin stores, borrowing from your future self every single time. Excess salt pulls water from your cells, dulls your skin, strains your heart, and adds invisible years to your face. And ultra-processed food, the most common food in the modern world, is the common thread running through all of it. These are not rare problems. They are not things that only happen to other people. They are happening right now in millions of bodies, in millions of kitchens, in millions of ordinary meals that nobody thought twice about. But you thought twice. You are here. You listened. And that matters more than you know. Here's the thing about knowledge. It changes your relationship with choice. You cannot unknow what you now know. Next time you reach for that bottle of flavored juice, something inside you will remember. The next time you pour oil into a hot pan, you will pause for a second. The next time someone hands you a plate of ultra-processed food at a party, you will make your choice with open eyes. Not with guilt, not with fear, just with clarity. That clarity is the whole point. You cannot go back and change yesterday's meals, but you can change today's. Start small. Swap one processed snack for a piece of fruit. Cook one more meal at home this week. Choose olive oil instead of vegetable oil. Drink one more glass of water. Eat one more vegetable at dinner. None of this requires drama. Every one of these is a quiet vote, and quiet votes cast consistently over years build a body that ages slowly, gracefully, and well. Those long-lived people didn't have a secret. They just kept making the quiet vote meal after meal, decade after decade. You can do that too, starting today. What you eat today decides how you look tomorrow. It always has. Now you know it. Now you can use it. Keep learning English through stories like this one, and keep growing. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this lesson sat with you in the way that really good lessons do. Not just in your head, but somewhere a little deeper. If it did, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment. Tell me something. Which food on this list surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care of yourself. You only get one body. Treat it like it matters. Because it does.